feel like that was the most heartbreaking game out of the season.
That was by far my worst game.
There's one point where we were almost at the point where like if we lose the next
Season is
game
over.
or two, like we're done.
I think it's very interesting. What decisions are you gonna make to try to go pro? Like, how are you gonna do it? You're in a situation where a lot of people find themselves after college. Not everyone is that guy who's scoring hundreds of goals, but there's a lot of people who's able to grind themselves to a pro contract.
I don't want to go pro to like be known, to be recognized, or to make all this money. I'm doing this for the sole purpose of playing and enjoying.
Football should be enjoyment. If you could do what you love as a job, there's nothing better than that.
It's that mindset of like, okay, I want to go back to training. I want to get back to like, I want to start getting better again, and then preparing myself for any upcoming trials. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Rafael Espinoza.
What's
I don't
wrong,
know,
bro?
Keep going.
Miguel Espinoza.
Okay, and we got Mathias back on the pod as a guest, I guess, but it's more like a co-host,
Yeah.
I would say. So we can just, because we're not really going to get into too much detail on Mathias' story. We did that last time. If you haven't seen it, go check out his episode. We're just going to have a convo about our season.
Just a recap.
Just a little bit of a recap, and what we're going to do moving forward. As you can see, we are champs, so we'll lead up to that. I really wanted to start with your thoughts on the season. Like, what did you overall thoughts?
As a whole,
Yeah,
I think it's like overall it was a good season.
yeah,
I think we accomplished what we wanted to accomplish.
yeah,
The goal was to win the tournament and the conference tournament. What was it called?
yeah. Conference.
Tournament, and we did that, and then we went into national for the first time since 2018, I think.
Yeah,
And yeah, whatever happened there happened. We lost.
dude. But LMU now. Did you see that?
No.
LMU, they beat JMU.
Whoa, so you guys could have gone forward. Because that's
one way to look at
that's
it.
how close it was. The
Dude,
game.
I
Like,
know.
it was,
No, it was very close. It was a super close game, and we lost on set pieces basically.
yeah.
And now the team we lost against is in the quarterfinals.
That's so crazy.
I don't know.
What? How'd you guys do with the? Because I know you guys played them preseason. How'd you guys do against them?
We beat them 1-0.
Okay, yeah.
Beat them 1-0.
It's tricky because that game, so the game we're talking about is the first round of the NCAA tournament. So that game, first half, we feel like we still played better than them, but it was like, it wasn't anywhere
Scrappy.
it was like, yeah, it was scrappy. Second half, dude, it was 73% possession, and like they scored an early goal
Yeah.
in the second half.
Yeah,
Was that the corner kick?
that was a corner kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Clean header, like.
Yeah,
It's-
that's just a good
yeah.
sentence overall. Yeah.
yeah. And we're down 2-0, and then yeah, like we had like good momentum going at them even after they scored. And then we do Mario with a crazy free kick. That was like,
Dude, that was a sick.
such a good free kick.
Yeah.
And then
Those sick penalty.
and then the craziest penalty, bro. I think it was better than the free kick, to be honest. Then, dude, I scored PK, dude. Whatever, man. And then, so then we tied it up 2-2. And then, dude, dude, after I scored the PK, I was like, yeah, dude, like, we're winning this game no matter what. Like, that's how the game felt. We just, like, so much momentum. We were in their half. They hadn't, after their second goal, they had, like, nothing. It just felt like they were like tired, it felt like. And then I don't know, last 10 minutes of the game we just kind of, I don't know, like I don't know how to
I think it was
explain it.
like we were going for it to win, so we played with basically no one in the back.
Yeah.
And then they get us on a counter, and we have pretty good control. And then, of course, we make a mistake. We concede a free kick.
The worst free kick I've ever seen.
A free kick right outside the box.
It went through the.
It went through the wall.
Yeah.
But it was like,
Very sloppy. It's just like a, I don't know, 50% power in the middle of the
Yeah.
wall and just hit someone and it goes in, and then it's 3-2. We have to chase. we put everything up top and they counter us again and they win 4-2.
Yeah,
It was the last like 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, we put Mathias up top, and Mathias trying
to do some stuff up top.
trying to embrace his inner Haaland. Didn't work.
Didn't work.
Didn't work. Yeah. So, oh, dude, that was heartbreaking. That was actually. I feel like that was the most heartbreaking. Well, definitely the most heartbreaking game out of the season.
No, it was for sure. And it's also because we felt like we had a team that can go pretty far.
Yeah, dude.
We had a pretty solid team.
We were on a winning streak too, leading up to that game.
Yeah, it felt really good. So that was heartbreak. But that's football, and especially college. Like set pieces, penalty, free kick, and corner. That's 3 goals on set pieces. So that, I mean, it's not good enough. If you can see that, it's on us.
Is there a game in season that I don't know that you feel like you played, like you performed the best, like that was like easily your best performance? Well, we gotta keep in mind it's a little bit more difficult for you because you played. What is it? Well, no, we didn't do overtimes anymore. Well, you did 90 minutes every.
We did the extra time, no?
Oh no,
the extra time. Yeah, the extra time.
Santa Barbara, and then Davis.
Well, did we win Santa Barbara?
No, Santa Barbara.
No, we won 2-1.
Yeah.
I just know we have done.
Davis.
Yeah, I know we have done extra time.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm saying throughout the season you played 90 minutes every game.
Yeah.
But one, and that one game I think is like, I could see the understanding from our coach, but he wanted to like kind of rest him a little bit, against Cal State Bakersfield. Yeah. And
he didn't. You guys.
Yeah, he didn't start. He didn't start Mathias, and he played like the last 20.
Like less
15 minutes of that game, and yeah, we lost. What was it like?
2-1. No, 2-0.
2-0.
2-0 away. You guys played early too.
That game was weird.
Yeah, you guys played like 11.
Dude, but like the stands, it was like all these elementary schools had field trips to that game. Yeah. So the stands were just all kids, dude. There was like, imagine just like a bunch of 5th and 6th graders.
Yeah, no, it was packed.
It was packed, dude. It was just kids. It was pretty funny. But yeah, that game was disappointing. We lost 2-0. But okay, so that's the only game where you didn't play, like everything. So it's a little bit
best game. It depends though. Like we had in like the out of conference games. Mm-hmm. We played against some big teams, and I felt like I had a few decent games against them. Like what was it? The first team we played out of conference. That was
San Diego.
No,
San Diego State was the first game.
That one is the second one.
Oh, we played one before?
No, the one after that, maybe. Because we played UCLA. That was by far my worst game. So that's what I remember the most. UCLA in the out of conference games. Mm-hmm. And then, like, I think like a few games before that, I might have one of my best games.
Okay, we played.
I forgot the.
We played Mount Sac.
It was a home, and
we played.
It was really bad with college names. That's why. It's They were supposed to be a top team when we met them. It was right before Stanford or something. We 0-0 against them.
Oh, Creighton?
Yeah, Creighton. I think that was one of my better games. And then I think the final in the Big West was a pretty good game. Not because I did anything crazy, but just because of like solid performance.
Yeah, I mean,
in the final
like that, especially against a team like that, that's super like
very attacking,
direct. Like they're so direct.
Yeah, I think I had like a few moments in every game, and then a few bad moments, of course. And I don't know what exactly was my best. I think I had a good season all around. I clearly remember my worst, and that's basically what I'm stuck with.
Yeah. I had like, for me, I feel like the final, the Big West final, that one for me was like, I don't even know if it was like necessarily my best performance, but it was, I feel like, where I contributed the most to the team.
Yeah.
Cause like, I don't know if you like for anybody who watched that game, it was just me like yelling at in players' faces just to kind of get bring our energy up and then also like kind of like get them psyched out a little bit. And I think it worked in a few times, but and then I felt like I had a lot of like good moments in that game. But it's always
against
Davis.
Oh yeah.
We lost against them the first time I played them.
Yeah, the first time we played, we lost 1-0. Like heartbreak. It was
At home.
Yeah, we had almost everything, and then they get one counter and they score.
Okay, what was the worst feeling for you? Were you even on the field? Yeah, you were against CSUN.
No,
You weren't on the field.
so by far the worst experience this season for me, it was CSUN.
Yeah.
Because it was 0-0. We completely dominated. We were really close to scoring. We had full control in the back.
Yeah.
And then he subs me off the last 10 minutes because he want to go more attacking. And then the last second of the game, they counter us from a corner and they score. It's like the last second, last thing that happens in the game.
Yeah.
And they score a 1-0 after just being defending from 90 minutes.
Yeah,
That was tough. That was really tough to do.
that was crazy. Yeah, and that was like, I would say not the best defending on our end, but that was like a crazy run from that
It
guy.
was really...
I forget his name.
Ricketts?
Yeah, that guy.
No, it was...
That was a crazy.
He made first team, no?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
First team.
This is the second year in a row as well.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He's good.
He's a
good.
good player.
Yeah.
He's the only one where I felt was like, oh, this guy's like a threat. And I think that they knew that too because it felt like they just had him up top, everybody else in the back, and they're kind of dumping it, hoping that he can make something.
Do something, yeah.
Yeah, that one I forget about that game, dude. That one was heartbreaking as well.
Yeah.
I said leading up to this season is that I'm like ready to go through like hardship. Like that's what I was like looking forward to. Is like going through those hardships and like kind of like going past it, you know, that kind of thing. And man, there is so much. There's actually so much of it. Like, it's crazy to think because even after like quote unquote successful season, I mean, we won the tournament. I think that's a pretty successful season. And we got second in the conference. Like there was still, I think this was like the craziest year for the Big West in terms of like teams like performances because
Right. Fullerton was like
Bakersfield was at one point like they were like
Second.
yeah, Fullerton did really well too. Even the out of conference,
Yeah.
in the out of conference team, they were doing
they were
really well.
ranked at one point, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah, they were doing really well. I mean, they got first in the
the league.
league. But I feel like they like towards the end of the season they were like kind of like
But I think it's typical because I feel like, for me personally, like looking at them and playing against them, it was their attack that was their main threat.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when you meet, like when they went to the playoffs and they met Davis, very direct team.
Yeah.
So it like they don't care about passing in the back. They're just gonna get it up to their good guys, and then it's their strength against your weakness, and then they got them. So
Yeah.
I think that's probably why they decreased a little bit, because they were more reliant on their defense later stages, and they weren't as good in my opinion. But
I agree with that.
but I think, as you said, it was a fun year because it's in the Big West. It's usually like after 5 games, you basically know the bottom and the top.
Yeah.
This year it was like the whole year changed. Like
Yeah.
at some point, Fullerton lost 5-0 against Cal Poly, and I'm like, what's going on?
That's crazy. Yeah, and then I there's one point where we were almost at the point where like if we lose the next
Season is
game
over.
or two, like we're done.
Yeah.
Like we're not making it into the tournament.
Yeah.
And that was crazy.
That was crazy. It was, I think it was like 2 games until we finished. It was, if we lose this one, we're ending 6th. And then we won that
Was
one.
that close?
And then we won the next one, and then we came second.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. And I think we did that to ourselves for sure.
We did,
like
for
with
sure.
conceding that last minute goal against CSUN kind of screwed us over. I think our attack, and I mean I'm part of it. Like our attack was not. I think it's been a common issue for UCI.
Yeah,
where our
ever since
attack
you've been
is
there.
not. Yeah. Oh shit, man.
No, I'm just saying. That's the only time I followed it.
Yeah.
And there's never their attack have never been their strength.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't know. I actually had when I had my end of the year meeting with Yossi, he said that like if like this, like even leading up to the season, that inside he calls it the belly, so like just like the 9 and 10 and anybody else who connects centrally, we weren't connecting as well. There wasn't like established relationships in those spots, and I agree. I told him that I felt like there wasn't a lot of time given for players to establish those relationships. It was always like a constant change.
Yeah.
And he agreed, but he ultimately said that like he had to make a decision for what he thought was best going into season, and so we based our attack highly going out wide and like going across, because that's all I felt is how we were gonna score, is off a cross, off something like individual, like out on the width, cutting inside, shooting, or on the width, crossing and finishing. But it was like hardly ever like combination centrally or anything like that. Yeah, so it was
No, it wasn't the best year like attacking wise. I mean, it's
like our top goal scorer got 4 goals,
something like that. Yeah,
3 goals, 4 goals,
3 or 4. We had the good thing though is that we had a lot of scorers, like a lot of match winners.
A lot of people scored. Yeah.
So, I mean, that shows that it's the whole team contributed this year.
Yeah.
And that, I want to say that as well. Like the people on the bench, like it was a lot of influence of the people from the bench.
Yeah,
like defensively, offensively, like no matter who came in. And I don't think I ever felt like someone coming in and it's like, oh my God, we're so much worse. I felt like they come in and it's like this either strength the team or it feels the same.
Yeah.
So I think that was one of our what is it called in English?
Strengths?
Advantages.
Oh, okay.
Is that we have more players.
Yeah,
that could contribute.
we definitely had depth.
Yeah.
We had depth to the team, and that's a lot because a lot of players had like a 5th year. Like this is their 5th year.
That's true.
How'd you feel about your role in the team?
My role, like so I worked all like spring season, preseason to establish my role as a starter. Right, like that's what my ultimate goal was. But then as we were going into the preseason, so our out of conference games, and then going into the conference, I started to realize that wasn't going to be the case. Like I felt that that minds were already made for for certain positions, and I knew that my role was going to be like that super sub type of deal, where I get subbed in to bring energy to the game and bring a different kind of threat to their defense. So as soon as I started to like realize that, I started feeling a little bit more comfortable with it, a little bit more like okay with it, because there's something about, of course, in trainings I always work to try to establish that starting role still, but there's something about like going into training and not really being happy about the situation you're in that just takes a toll on your performance. So I had to really switch up my mindset to be like, okay, like this is how it is what it is, and I just got to keep performing for my own sake and for the team's sake. So I think like I can't necessarily say I was happy with I'm like happy with the role I was given, but I think I made it work, and I think I did what it needed to do for the team. Yeah. I wish I would have had more goals this season. That's one thing that I'm like the most like disappointed with. But again, like I don't know. I definitely need to like reflect a little bit more on it, on why I didn't get as many goals as I wanted to. I feel like I spoke with Jerry, my old club coach, and he didn't watch many of the games, but he did watch the LMU game, and he's like, his first thing, and what I've heard a few times before, is that I'm way too like unselfish with the ball. I let the ball go real quick. I don't ever I like not as it's very rare for me to like really try to make things myself. I like want to work off other players, and sometimes as a striker you need to try to do shit on your own, and I felt like I didn't do enough of that this season. I feel like I tried to, and that's partly like it's that like mental aspect of it where you're not a starter. You're trying to establish yourself as a starter, so you're trying to do things right, especially when we're on a team that's very like detail oriented, and the coach, it tells you exactly what kind of role you need to play as the 9, and so like you just kind of like you try to find that balance between doing what he wants and doing what you naturally feel like doing as a player, and when you're having to think like that in a game, it doesn't work. Like you start overthinking, you start making little mistakes when you shouldn't, and that's something that I don't know. I've been trying to work on because it's been the same every year, to be honest. And it's I haven't like I felt like this year towards the end of the season when I stopped thinking about like establishing myself as a starter really, and like understanding that okay, this is the role I'm given. I started playing a little bit more like myself.
Yeah.
But it's that like beginning of the season still, and like previous seasons, it's that like overthinking.
But like now we're done. Season, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You're done at UCI.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like, I think it's very interesting to see like now after you had the season that you're explaining.
Yeah.
Like, how are you gonna go forward? Like, moving forward. Like, what decisions are you gonna make to try to go pro? Like, how are you gonna do it? Because I think you're in a situation where a lot of people find themselves after college.
Yeah.
Because not everyone is a starter all the time. Not everyone is that guy who's scoring hundreds of goals. But there's a lot of people who's able to grind themselves to a pro contract after. So I'm just wondering, like, how are you gonna do that?
Yeah, I like that's the thing. Like we just so now that we, what was it? When did our season end? Like a little more than a week ago. Yeah. I don't think it has been 2 weeks yet, but it's that like, how about it's that mindset of like, okay, I want to go back to training. I want to get back to like, I want to start getting better again, and then preparing myself for any upcoming trials that I could possibly get myself into. And it's that game of connects. Like I'm trying to like speak to as many people as I possibly can, trying to get people to refer me to whoever, so I can try to get because I know I'm not going to be looked at by by what I've done in college. No one's gonna like look at what I've done in college and be like, oh, like he's like a potential, he's our next potential striker or something. No, it's gonna be like me going out there and actually displaying what I can do to the coaches, because that's one thing that I feel personally. I don't feel like my style of playing suited UC Irvine's system. But with that being said, like my style has developed so much from being at UCI. Like that, because of how detailed Yossi is, I learned so much about like the game, and so much about like just playing, like how I can play individually, how I can improve my game, and how the game works as a whole. And so I'm trying to take as much of that, because not everybody has that Yossi experience, going through that UCI. Because you go to other schools, like I can't imagine Davis being the way like we are at UCI, So there's I don't think there's a lot of players who have that experience out of college. But then again, it's also like a lot of other players are more used to just playing freely, and I think that's an advantage, just being able to just play freely. So I guess my mindset is being able to get to that point where I can just play freely and not overthink.
But I think also for you, a lot of people, when they come to your situation like this, when you're like, this isn't what it is, and you're like, I learned a lot, I've been better, but you're not left with the rewards from it. You're kind of just left in the dust after. Yeah. And a lot of players get to that point, and then I feel like 90-something percent of footballers, they're like, okay, I need to start making money. I need to go the way that the society wants me to go, and I need to get a job, right? And I feel like you're taking a different approach to it, which I think is very like, it's a lot of respect, because you're not going for the safe route. You're going the complete unknown. Like, you don't know what's gonna happen. You might sit left with no club. You never know. Even though Nisa would probably be like the last option, it would probably be an option there. But other than that, it's very hard for you to go and earn big bucks.
Yeah.
So wherever you go now, it's gonna be a grind.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the same as a lot of players in your shoes. And I think that's gonna be the day you go pro and the day you go to a higher level. You're gonna have all of those experience behind you, and all of that like shit and dirt you've been like through. And I think that's gonna make you, when you get to the highest level, I think you're gonna be able to like compete straight away.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna be ready. You're not gonna be stressed. You're not gonna be like, oh, it's a lot of people. Like you're gonna be like, oh, I've been through so much shit. I'm just gonna play now and enjoy it. You know?
Yeah. No. I like, and that's the one thing that that I feel like when you first got here that we like related a lot on, and why like our initial connection was like clearly there was it was that same kind of mindset of like, we're not in this for money. Like we're not like or like I don't want to go pro to like be known, to be recognized, or to make all this money, because I know the reality. That's like, those are the people we see on TV in Europe, bro. Like those are the guys who are making that. And as of right now, I like from my path, the way I'm going is like, yeah, like I just got done with my college season. I'm 22. Now it's like I'm doing this for the sole purpose of playing and enjoying. And this has always been a dream of mine. Always been like something that I love to do. And like honestly, I know if I were to stop now and like look back at it, and like let's just say I stop now and I start making tons of money with whatever else I end up doing, I know for a fact I would look back at it if I was like in my 30s, 40s, 50s and regret not like pursuing soccer. Like, and because this is the only time to pursue it. This is the only time too, because when you're in your 30s, you can't look back and be like, oh, I should try to pursue that again. It's like, no, dude, like
I think this is like where me and you have the same mindset. But when I talk to a lot of people outside of like either football or my family or friends or stuff like that, it looks like everyone has a complete different view on it. Because we see it as, now is the time to try to go pro, to try to have fun with football. You have until you're like 30 something, and then most likely your career is gonna end. And then you can start to like establish, and then you can start making money and going different routes, trying different stuff. But a lot of people look at it like, okay, in the 20s you need to establish something to be able to get enough money and to pay off everything when you get older. And I don't feel like a lot of people are enjoying it the same way. Like I feel like football should be enjoyment. Yeah. And it's also, if you could do what you love as a job, like there's nothing better than that. Yeah. For me personally, if I would have quit football after college to pursue my degree and like try to like follow, I don't know, get a master's, whatever, get a good job, earning, I don't know, 60, 70,000 a year, it just wouldn't be the life for me, because I would always think back at all the work I put down, like everything I put in and nothing came out of it. Yeah. And I think like they say that if you work really hard, you're gonna be able to accomplish something later. Like like the work have to pay off, right? Yeah. And it hasn't paid off yet. Like we won a tournament, but individually you're not where you want to be. Yeah. And then I think if you just keep working, you keep putting your head down, you keep getting your name out there, and you keep just grinding, at some point maybe you're 25, 26, 27, 28 even. You're gonna go places you didn't know you were able to, you know? And I always think back at like Russ's song when it says the journey is everything. Like honestly, like I that is, for me, is super true, because I even now I'm not in the situation I want to be in, but I'm excited. I'm excited as to where I'm going to be like next year. Like I have no, like, I know I said this to my girlfriend, and she kind of like, she got sad, but I was like, I can easily be in Irvine next year. I have no, like, I can be in Irvine, I can be in another state, I can be in another country. I have no idea. It just depends on the opportunities that come. And that to me is pretty exciting. And that to me is like I am so open to that, because I want to be able to like have new experiences with just pursuing this with soccer. And I think that's ultimately what I'm going to get the most out of it. I'm not going to get
like tens of millions of dollars from playing, but I'm gonna get tens of millions of experiences and tens of millions of memories.
And I also think that is a little bit like an ego route to go. Like both me and you are going very egoistic, and I can feel that after like getting a girlfriend and you talk to them about that stuff. It's like everything you do for yourself. And that's a tough one to take because you don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
But it's just you can't.
It is selfish.
It's very selfish.
And that's something that like I've spoken to you about it too. But like that's something that I like early on was battling with, was that idea of like, because like we don't come from a very wealthy family, so I've always been like I've always had put the responsibility on myself to want to like provide for my parents and want to like help my parents out financially, and I knew that this was kind of like how the journey was gonna be. It was gonna be ups and downs, and I wasn't gonna be making a whole lot of money from it, especially in my 20s. And so it was that like, okay, like that battle between, I know I can make a lot of money if I pursue the safer route, you know, I know I can make a lot of money and help them out, or I can pursue something that I know will genuinely make me feel fulfilled and happy later in life. And I think that's my decision in doing this. It's a very selfish decision, and I feel bad thinking about it, but my parents wouldn't be happy with me pursuing a route that I would not. Like, they would want me to pursue this, and they've been pushing me to pursue this because they know that's what's going to make me happy.
I also think that like people who have the same mindset as me and you, it has to come from somewhere. Like you don't just like randomly get that mindset when everyone keeps telling you what to do. Like some people maybe, but I feel like for you, it came from your parents, like letting you and wanting you to do it. For me, it came like my mom drove me everywhere when I was younger. My dad always been super supportive of just going for it. And I think that's where it's coming from. Like the calmness where I'm like, okay, if I'm done with college and I'm nowhere, it's okay. Like I'll find a way. I'll still try to go pro. Yeah. And I think that's where that calmness comes from. And I feel like a lot of people get pushed by friends, by their environment, by their family. Like, you need to make money right now. You need to make money. And then they leave what they love, you know?
See, I've never valued money. That's the thing, is like I don't like, I understand the importance of it, and I've always seen the impact it's had on like our parents, but I never like, because of that, I never like really like, I kind of like had like a hatred towards money, a hatred towards like the power it has, and I've never cared for it. Like I like, of course, like I don't like, I want to make money. Like, of course, like later I want to be wealthy. I want to be well off. I want to be able to provide for my family, provide for, you know, whoever I care for. But for me to just make every decision solely for money is not in my like values, because I just don't value it that highly. And I think, yeah, like the majority, I think people from that aren't even in like everybody outside of this room, I would say, like, has that kind of mindset where the money is the value, like the sole purpose of why they do things. And I think when you speak to people and you tell them like kind of like your idea of what you're gonna end up doing, I always get that like same like it's like, oh, but like it always comes back to money, you know. It's like, you gotta understand, we have like different values. Like that's just not like, and that's not where I come from.
One thing is also being like, what is it called, economically free or financially, whatever. Yeah, you don't need to like worry about money. Like that's one thing that everyone want to like get in their life. Yeah. But then also like you could do that after the age of 30 something. Everyone think it needs to come right now, but it can come later. Like you can enjoy it right now and then later.
Yeah, that's it, dude. I think, isn't it like, there has to be a percentage. I might be just making this shit up, but but I swear I've seen it somewhere. I've heard it somewhere where like most people are making their millions of dollars when they're in their 40s, or like
that's later.
Like, like it's like like most, I would want to assume that most I don't want to just say millionaires, but like most people who are just well off did not make majority, if they come from like places like we come from, where they don't come from money. Most of them struggled throughout their 20s, even in their 30s, and started making their money in their 40s, 50s, you know, like. And so like for me, it's like, what difference is that? Like a lot of people are in their 20s trying to figure out what it is they want to do with their lives,
And that's one thing as well. Like, you might not know it, but depending on where your career takes you, it might make you more attractive in the work market after.
Yeah.
Like, let me use Matt Sheldon as like, we both know him. You know him better than me, but he's a guy who didn't play in college. Like, he had a year in college where he didn't play for Davis or whatever it was. Like, you would never think that this guy would manage to become pro. He managed to grind himself to the USL Championship, and then now from there he has made himself a huge name.
Yeah.
From what he decided to do, from grinding, from doing stuff that people probably looked at as weird. Like, oh, why are you filming yourself? Why are you?
Yeah.
Now he has a huge name, and whatever he chooses to do after football, I think his football career is gonna help him.
Yeah.
Making more money, being.
For sure.
Yeah. So I think.
No, it's definitely what you choose to do with it. It's you choose to do with what you like. You choose. It's what you choose to do with the experience that you get and with the level you get to. I mean, yeah. It's so uncertain. I'm not aware exactly. Like, I'll end up. And then ultimately, I'm just year by year just trying to get to the highest level I could possibly get to. But for you, what is your, now that, because you have another year of eligibility, your situation is a little difficult, considering that there's like, it's like the political side of soccer, where I think you had a season and you displayed performances that show to people who watch that you can easily play USL Championship. I didn't know that confidently. Because I train with you all the time. I've seen you play at every game and stuff. So I know I can say confidently that you can play in a USL Championship, at the USL Championship level. And I think if you were to push for that, I think you could probably find yourself in the spot like that. But now there's other factors that get involved with it. So now it's like the schooling, you get help from the Norwegian government for your schooling. And now what is it that if you finish your degree, you get like half of it?
The Norwegian government has a rule, or like a thing, where if you finish your degree, they take off a certain percentage of your loan. So you don't have to pay back, I don't know, like $10,000 or something like that,
Yeah.
So it's a big bunch of money that you wouldn't have to pay.
Yeah.
And then again, it's that other side of it where you also, the longer you go, like I've done 3 years. So if I'm doing 4, that just means that it's more money involved, because I need to loan more money. So then, okay, some money might get cut, but then maybe I like still have to pay more than.
Yeah.
But then then again, it's like also a degree into this. So like, if I finish it, I will also have a degree, so I have something to show for these years.
Yeah.
And it's from UCI, which is a great academic school. So then I will be super attractive on the job market at some point.
Yeah.
When I want to pursue that. So for me personally, there's a no-brainer. Like, I need to stay another year. I need to get that degree. I need to perform. I want to do well with UCI one more year. Then you have all of this stuff with the draft. I want to go in the draft. Is it possible? Like, I don't know. Does it have to do with how UCI does? Does it have to do with what I do? I don't know. But I want to go into the draft. And then all of this stuff with the visa comes in. Like, okay, if I get drafted, fine, I go to the MLS club, to the combine, everything, train with them for a bit. Then if they tell me, oh, we don't want you, and then no one picks me up, that's it. It doesn't matter if I get drafted, I'm done.
Yeah.
And then you can get drafted, they can put you on their second team, but then do they pay for my visa? Because they have to.
Yeah.
Like, if they don't pay for my visa, I can't play for their second team.
Yeah.
So for me, I need someone to pay for a work visa for me to be here. And if that doesn't happen, then I'll just have to look Europe.
Yeah.
Because that's where my citizenship is. So it's a little bit like, it's more, as you say, more political for me. And it's also about, for me, it's just about focusing now, performing, do what I can do anything about, being better for next season, helping the team. and then whatever happens from there happens. And the same as you, I'm not gonna quit.
Yeah.
Like if I have to go back, I'll go back and I'll figure something out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not quitting. I'm gonna try to go pro somewhere. And if it happens that I have to leave, it happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Maybe there's better opportunities coming. Because as I told you, like last year, I was looking at it a little bit with like agents and stuff, and I got 2 pro offers that I told you about in Europe, and I decided to say no because I thought that this is better overall when it comes to like I need to finish my degree because I have put so much money into it. But then I could have left. I just felt like it was the right decision.
Yeah.
And for me personally, I feel like it was the right decision from what we accomplished as a team and individually this season. I think I done made myself more attractive.
Yeah.
And if one more year like that, it would be good. I think.
I think it would, because people would probably hear that and be like, how do you pass on a pro offer, right? But it's like you gotta like what I've like realizing more so now than I did during my time at UCI is that, dude, you're treated and you're playing like a pro when you're in the D, at least in the D1 level. I'm not too familiar with the other levels, but when you're playing Division 1 college soccer, and again, it depends on the program as well, but at least at UCI, you're treated as a pro. You train every single day. For preseason, you're traveling to different states to play. You're when you travel like a pro. You travel, everyone wearing the same thing. Everyone gets travel gear. You travel on plane, you travel on bus, whatever the case is. But everything's treated as professional as it possibly can be. So when you know that, and then the only difference is that you're not getting paid. That's what like, looking back at it now, it's kind of like, and you see all these lower level pro teams, and not to even, and like probably one of the biggest things, like the facility that we train at is amazing. Like the field's perfect, the weather's perfect, and then even the gym is like perfect for our lifts and stuff like that. So it's just like the best facilities you possibly think of. And then now you're getting this pro offer in a different country where you're kind of like, you don't even know, you've never been there, you never visited, but someone's there telling you that, yeah, we can offer you something there. And now you're like, am I really gonna pass and not even considering all the like the money's already put in and all this stuff. You're like, you kind of need to weigh out like the pros and cons of everything. It's not just like, oh, it's a pro contract, I'm like, go and take it. No. It's like, where am I going to continue developing for that better offer next?
And I also think like in my situation, like none of them were anything like, you're going to start for us. Yeah. You're going to be our best player. We're going to pay you. And all of like those 2 offers, it was minimum money. So I need a job on the side. I don't know, gas station, whatever. They're both 2 countries I've never been before. It's not the top level, it's the level under one of them, and the other one was the level under there again. And both teams were relegation teams. Yeah. So then you put yourself in a situation like, okay, you're pro. Let's say I'm on the bench, we get relegated. All of a sudden, I'm not a pro. Yeah. The contract get cut, bonuses get cut, and then I have no film. I have no highlights. I have nothing to show for.
And you wasted.
All of us, and I wasted money for 2 years in college. And all of a sudden you're in a worse situation. Yeah. And then you have the one like, oh, what if it works out? Yeah, what if it works out? But then again, that gamble for me personally, because I feel like if I just finish because I'm going to be 24 when I graduate, from what I learned at UCI, from the facilities, from the training, from the weather here, you can train all year round. I'm going to be a way better player than I will be going to one of those leagues. Yeah. And of course, if I got a top division offer, and like almost no money, I'm gone. Yeah. I'm out for sure. Yeah. But the contract offers I had isn't anything you look at and go like, wow. Yeah. You know, it's just like
it's
if it's either that, or like not. In your situation, I would have gone. Yeah. In my situation with the college and the money and everything, no, I wouldn't.
Yeah. No, it's just because I mean, and even like pros now, you know, like they try to get as many options as possible so that they could pick the one that suits them the best, is the best situation for them. So it's like even now, like yeah, okay, I'm getting these pro offers. Let's say like or like in your situation, you're getting these pro offers, but UCI is still an option. And from when you look at it, sure, I'm considered pro if I go here, but I'm still like the way I'm treated, the way I train, the way I travel, everything is more professional here in this in this college level. Yeah, of course you're gonna stick with that. You ultimately want to get to, especially if you don't think the levels vary that much, you know. So there's a lot of like just like I don't know. I think I don't know, and I'm just probably assuming, but just some people would probably think like, oh yeah, like you passed on a pro offer, but it's like there's a lot that goes into it, and
there's more to it. And then again, it's like it's passing it on because you think something better is gonna come later. It's not because you
can't be impatient and just like go with the first thing you see.
That's the thing, you're impatient and you ruin your whole career. You need to be smart. And then also one thing I want to say is that living here, and that's a big part that I realized, because I always lived and played in Norway. So for me, wherever I live have never mattered, because it's been as shit as it gets when it comes to weather and stuff. So I've just been like, oh, I'll play football anywhere.
Yeah.
After coming here, it's like, wow, like the lifestyle, like everything out here is so much better than, let's say, Norway. Like, let's say I played second division, which is the third tier in Norway. I think college overall, because of our location, like in California, everything was a better experience for me than playing there. Even though that was considered pro, this is way better for me.
Yeah, I think right now, because of I've lived here my entire life, I'm like I'm looking forward to like even going and training in Norway. What was it, 2 years ago now?
Yeah.
Dude, that was a crazy experience, and that was like you got to warm up for the warm up, you know, like it's just like.
You remember we had to shovel a few training sessions as well.
So you're going back to Norway when?
15th December. So 15th December. Yeah, a few weeks.
Okay, and then you're back the
5th January.
January what? 5th. Okay. So during your, what is there like just quickly as we wrap up the pod? What do you what's your plan for the off season?
It's gonna be a lot of training. I already took you there. We have a dome, indoor dome, and we're gonna spend most of my time there. That's winter in Norway for me. It's just about playing football with friends. A lot of indoor, a lot of that.
Are you gonna be able to? I don't even know if you're in contact with them, but like from last year, who did you train with?
Oh, I trained with. I don't want to name drop, but a few big names. Yeah. Few big names. Because they train in the same dome. It's a little city. It's a big dome and really good. Like this guy played for Roma last year. Champions League, plays for a national team in Norway. There's this other guy who plays for Rosenborg, which is the biggest team in Norway. And I don't know them, but I trained with them throughout a big chunk of the winter because they were there, and that was a great experience. And of course, if they're there again, I'll.
So it's more like if you see them, then you'll probably.
If I see them, I'll just ask if I could jump in. Yeah.
And to see if they approve of you.
See if
Okay. Dude, that dome is actually sick. When we landed in Norway, the time I went, it was like we got to his house. What time did we get to your house?
Like midnight, no?
Yeah, it was late. And then his homies came over, and then we're like, oh, we had just landed. And they're like, oh, let's go back to the dome and let's go train.
At night?
Dude, it was like 1 a.m.
We hadn't slept at all. We just...
And we went, like,
I pulled. They have access to it, or what? Like,
yeah, I have access to it because I know the one of the coaches who like
just time and
yeah, no, I just know one of the coaches who had the key.
So, yeah, and
that's dope.
I think I tore my hamstring twice from that. Cool. Dude, it was freezing. It was crazy. But even in the dome, it's freezing. Like, yeah. All right. Well, then I think that was What, do you have anything? I think that was good.
That was good.
I think that was good.
So,
do you have anything? No? All right. Well, then...
Wait. Let's end it with your accolades. What'd you end up in the season? Like?
Oh, yeah.
I got first team all conference. And that's basically it, no?
What was it?
Yeah. I think you should... Nah, fuck that. You got Defender of the Year.
You should have.
You should have got Defender of the Year, dude. You should have got Defender of the Year. Dude. political side of soccer, man. You should have got.
That's what it is.
You got so first team. Last year you got second team.
Yeah.
When you should.
No, that was my freshman year. Last year we did too bad as a team.
You didn't get anything then.
Oh, damn.
I got national team of the week though. That was cool.
Okay, that's sick.
That was cool. But yeah, that's basically it.
Top goal scorer.
Yeah. For who?
No. That's something that we've been talking about. That he's been trying to get on the score sheet. Cause he did. Pen.
I did get on the score sheet if that counts. A penalty.
That was a good PK too.
Got a penalty, but yeah, no, I need to get more dangerous when it comes to scoring goals. You know, defenders are always more attractive when they can score.
Yeah, same, bro. Same, bro. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good. Okay, I'll just wrap it up. Thanks for watching another episode. That was fun. If you want to follow Mathias on Instagram, what's your Instagram?
Mathias, what is it called? Underscore Winum. So JULLUM.
Spell it. Okay. And then you can follow our Instagram, without a doubt, _athletics. That's it. Yeah, it's a wrap.